What's going on, YouTube? We're back at it for another gun build, and today we're going to be talking about the MP40. Probably one of the biggest favorites for everybody. You know, a lot of people are using this weapon, and so as many times as I've seen people using this weapon, you know, a couple of moments, it felt like it was a bit overpowered. But to me, I don't know. After using pretty much every other SMG other than the Sten already and max leveling it, I just can't see the biggest appeal of this weapon. Maybe here and there, the fact that you can get it pretty accurate. Doesn't exactly have the fastest rate of fire, doesn't exactly have the longest damage range. Bullet velocity's fairly low in a way is at the same point. Mobility isn't the strongest with this. You can kind of build it out in certain ways to kind of strengthen the mobility, strengthen the ADS. But each way you go, you're going to have some trade-offs that really don't make this that overpowered gun, in my opinion. Something I could see going into the Warzone integration is possibly a really strong sniper support. But by far, I don't believe this will be the top tier of secondaries you'll see when it comes to people running this in their loadout as their close-range combat weapon. If you use an overkill, don't necessarily see this one being as strong as people may think it will be or is already. It's a solid weapon. It's one of those all-rounder type of SMGs. It's got a little bit of everything, but doesn't have anything that really pushes it over the top when it comes to a lot of the different aspects you could be going into. It's still a solid weapon. You can get some high kill games with it. There can be some things about it that'll just help it maintain its own weight within the SMGs itself and in any Vanguard match at the same point. But I tell you what, one of the number one things that kind of really gets me with this weapon is just the slow, sluggish nature of your ADS. While your ADS, your movement is just, it's so slow. One of the biggest drawbacks, in my opinion, felt like it got me locked into place on certain moments where I felt like I was able to get that guy at a certain medium-ish range, but they've got an AR, they got something else, they're dealing with a little bit more damage. Maybe the flinch was affecting me a bit more, I don't know. Maybe now it's not exactly the most overpowered weapon, considering, I mean, a lot of weapons inside of Vanguard feel overpowered. MP40 just doesn't feel like it. Now, it will have its place inside of Pacific Warzone. Guaranteed this would be a highly viable sniper support style weapon. May have a little bit more mobility than the AS-44, but even then, I'd probably go with the AS-44. Just has that medium range capability, a lot more range, a lot more bullet velocity than this weapon. But we'll see in the coming future. But let's get into the attachments and then go straight into the gameplay, showcase how well this weapon can do. When it came to the muzzle, I went with recoil booster just for the simple fact that we're only at 631 rounds. Pretty slow for a lot of the SMGs in this category. But not the worst, especially with the damage we're outputting as 32. It does have decent damage, I'll give it that. But when it comes to the rate of fire, and this may be the one thing that kind of gets people, locks them into this, gets them comfortable with this weapon, is the simple fact that it's pretty easy to control. You feel like you can go for longer mid-range fights, but the damage range really isn't there. And if you're utilizing this just for close combat, it's going to make you have that assumption that this is completely overpowered, when in reality, you're just kind of hitting people up close. You're more than likely facing somebody that has a weapon that's not exactly ideal for close range as well. So it's one of those trade-off moments. But if you felt like you needed more recoil control and you wanted a little bit more range out of this, F8 stabilizer is definitely the one to go for. Get that accuracy up, group it in tighter when it comes to that horizontal recoil, and just give it that damage range. When it comes to the barrel, arguably, if you wanted to go for like strong mobility, really quick ADS, a little bit more hip fire, that aim, walking, movement, speed, sprint to fire, things of that nature, just giving this a lot stronger mobility, you could go with the 221 mm01B. It's going to give you the numbers you're looking for. That ADS walking speed's way up, sprint to fire is all the way down, ADS is down 174. I mean, it's snappy, it's moving, you're going straight out of sprint pretty quickly, just ready to fire on somebody, and that hip fire accuracy is fairly decent, 5.6 degrees. But if you're looking for something that's a bit more controllable, KRAUSNIK 317 millimeter, maybe you're better at kind of ADS in and being able to stay on target without having to control the recoil all that much, this is going to be one of those that you'll go for. Definitely does hurt the hip fire accuracy, but makes it a bit more controllable. Optics, you know, it's up to your personal preference. I know there's a blueprint that gives you this G16, and this can help with the recoil control and accuracy. You're going to be cutting down a little bit on your ADS time, but not so much that it's going to completely destroy the weapon. But it's one of those that kind of need a bit more cautious and not exactly keep running straight into it. If you're going for like a hip fire build, this could be something that kind of help mitigate some of that recoil control that you'll be adding on from some of those attachments you'll be taking off to add on some of that mobility or hip fire strength to it, rather than pushing that recoil and accuracy control. But for me, SLATE Reflector, if you're running a shipment, obviously you want something that's close range. You want something that's going to be not going to take away from your ADS time and just make you as fast as possible when it comes to just ADS and taking down those enemies and just keep on pushing through. And when it comes to the stock, KRAUSNIK 33M folding, that's essentially what I've used the entire time. Haven't used anything else. I just wanted that sprint to fire and movement speed. Since this is an SMG, I'm going for those close range fights. I'm constantly pushing in. I want the fastest movement. I want the fastest out of my sprint to fire time, or I want the fastest sprint to fire time, just to be able to engage those fights as quick as possible, making sure that I land the first shot before the other person. You could go with remove stock if you're looking for that hip fire accuracy, still giving you that movement speed. But like I said, you're going to be tossing that accuracy and recoil out the window when it comes to this. And this can be problematic later on. Now, if you're looking for straight up trying to make this a pinpoint laser, you definitely go for the VDD 34M padded, or possibly the VDD 35 wire grip. Gives you that flinch resistance and gives you that accuracy and recoil control at the same point. What is the difference between these? I guess aiming stability is the only difference. The biggest thing is going to be that movement speed. You're going to really notice that, and that ADS speed, whereas you're only getting sprint to fire and 2 to movement speed with the padded as compared to the wire grip. But if you're looking for more accuracy, making this thing a straight up laser, these are the two stocks that you're going to look for. But if you want that mobility, we're going with that 33M folding. When it comes to proficiency, in the beginning, you could arguably go for steady, increase your movement speed. If you're looking for just strong mobility in general, steady is a good option. But if you're looking to have the most packed or most powerful movement per punch you're making out there inside of these maps, you're going to want that momentum. You're getting that movement speed after each kill, zigzagging through the enemies, just taking one after the next, constantly gaining that speed momentum. I'm not sure if this stacks, but you will notice the speed difference after you get a kill, and it can be that one thing when you're jumping left, right, strafing, doing some slides around people. It's going to help out a lot. Now, if you had problems with recoil control, I guess you can go for Perfectionist, or if you're looking for that kind of like dead silence approach, you could go with Unmarked and getting that silent footsteps after kills. Could be helpful in certain moments. Or if you just felt like the initial accuracy and recoil control was a bit off, Brace could be a good option. But if you're looking for one of those, just move in through all the enemies and just cut through like a hot knife in butter, momentum's going to be that choice of proficiency. Now, kit, obviously, surplus if you're leveling this weapon, getting that kill XP for each one. But quick or fully loaded is probably your best bet for this. If you're not running the field upgrade for the ammunition, fully loaded would be the choice. But if you don't feel like you need that, or if you're using... Wait, let me backtrack that. Getting a little bit of a slip in my brain myself. But if you have the field upgrade with the ammunition, I'd probably go with quick, just to get that benefit to your mobility, getting that sprint speed in there. But if you're not running that and you're using some other type of field upgrade, fully loaded, it's the way to go. You'll have more than enough ammunition with this. When it comes to the rear grip, I went with polymer grip just for the flinch resistance and gaining that accuracy and recoil during sustained fire. Some other great options if you're going for stronger mobility, bit faster ADS time, you're really pushing in close with this and you want that hip fire accuracy. Fabric grip could be one of those to gain that ADS and sprint to fire. Or if you're looking for a little bit of recoil control and more hip fire accuracy with this, you're definitely going to want to go with a pine tar grip. Kind of losing my tongue these days. Now, when it comes to the magazine, arguably, for me personally, the 9mm 64 round drum's the way to go. I mean, we got 32 damage here. You're going to have plenty of rounds per magazine. I mean, the amount of people you can kill with just those 64, especially if you're moving in close, constantly using that momentum proficiency to move around these enemies, you're going to have more than enough in your magazine to take out 5, possibly 8, even 10 if you're just landing all your shots, getting in close, maximizing the effective damage of this, not making those shots at range or missing. You could really do a lot with this magazine. Now, arguably, if you want that faster fire rate, if you're looking to close in, maybe use something that, or also having that recoil control as well. You could use this, but we're going to cut down on the damage, effective damage range, bullet velocity is going to be dropped. You're going to be a lot quicker with this. This could be something for certain people that just want a straight up mobility playstyle, that are just fast, quick, efficient, moving in and out of the crowd, using cover here and there, something you could utilize. Now, arguably, you could go for the 8mm KURZ 32. Does punch up that damage all the way up to 46. You're getting that added effective damage range, and bullet velocity. ADS time does come down a little bit as well. Your rate of fire does get diminished with this, only by a little bit, as you'll notice. Well, it's not exactly 100 rounds per minute we're losing, but it's pretty close, and it will be noticeable. Now, the compensation with the added damage, this could be better suited for a sniper support when it comes to Warzone Pacific integration, but when it comes to Vanguard, guarantee the 64 round is going to be a lot better utilized for you, even though you may get that effective damage range, bullet velocity, ADS time a little bit, even the reloads a bit quicker as well. The damage just isn't felt quite as strong as the simple fact of not having to reload between enemies with that 64 round 32. Even though the rate of fire is slowed down, you're going to have a lot more moments where you're either depleting the mag or possibly just getting low before one of those moments or having to stop and reload. The 64 mag just really is a lot better of a choice when it comes to Vanguard. But when it comes to a sniper support or possibly just a secondary in general, when it comes to Warzone Pacific integration, I guarantee you 8mm KURZ 32 rounds, since this is an SMG, reload's not exactly the longest time, more than likely going to be the best bet when it comes to Warzone integration. Ammo type for Warzone Pacific, more than likely lengthened. You want that bullet velocity later on. But when it comes to Vanguard, hollow point, you want that increased limb damage. Since this is an SMG, you're pushing in close, moving about a bit, making a couple of snappy ADSs. Sometimes you're not always fully on target, hitting that chest or head. Could be hitting some limbs, and this is just going to further increase that damage in some of those moments when you're just kind of moving sporadically, whipping that aim around. Can help a whole lot, and it does increase the damage substantially when it comes to the limbs, which otherwise would have arguably gotten you killed if you were hitting the limbs. Say they were snapping on a target for you, upper chest, headshots, things of that nature. You could kill them before they're able to get on target in that manner. And when it comes to the underbarrel, a couple of choices you can make. If you wanted to go for that strong mobility build, you definitely want to go with it. It's a smile pistol grip. You want that sprint to fire, get a little bit more of that hip fire accuracy. It's not going to cut down too much on your recoil control and accuracy, but it can be something that will be a little bit harder for other people to utilize, and it definitely will make medium range fights a bit harder to take on as well. So if you're feeling like you need that recoil control, M1941 hand stop, it's going to give us that recoil control and accuracy, only at the cost of our hip fire accuracy, which isn't going to be too bad. It's still pretty decent, and if you're closing in on a lot of people, that hip fire accuracy at 7.4 isn't going to be a huge hindrance, because in those certain moments where you're going to utilize that, more than likely they're close enough for that spread not to be even anything to worry about. But if you wanted a little bit more of that hip fire accuracy and just needed that recoil control, CARVER FOREGRIP, absolutely best in slot when it comes to that, just for that mobility hip fire type of build where you're not exactly utilizing ADS all that much. As you'll notice, we'll take a negative hit to that with this grip right here. And if you just felt like maybe the horizontal accuracy was too much for you, M1930 STRIFE angled, perfect for that, +2 to accuracy, and gives you a bit of that aim walking steadiness, aiming stability, only at the cost of sprint to fire. Alright guys, that's going to be the weapon. Like I said before, kind of disappointed in this gun. A lot of people, I feel, are just comfortable with this. It's one of those overall weapons. It's kind of like the STG in a way. It's just, you can make it accurate. It doesn't exactly have the best mobility, but it's still strong. Damage is still pretty high, but not exactly the best overall, especially when it comes to that rate of fire. It's one of those things that's kind of a big trade-off, but a well-rounded weapon in a way. You can see why a lot of people utilize it, especially being one of the first weapons you'll be able to use in the SMG category. Probably arguably one of the biggest reasons a lot of people use this and feel that it's overpowered. But at that same point, when it comes to Warzone Pacific integration, could arguably be a really strong sniper support weapon, and possibly with the 32 round mag, depending on how the damage transitions into the Warzone Pacific Caldera map. If it stays as strong as it is here, this could be a contender for a decent secondary, but when it comes to mobility and fire rate, that's going to be one of those things that hinders it, especially coming up against a Thompson or PPSH or even an AS-44 in a close range fight. Their rate of fire may trump that damage bonus later on, but we'll see that in the coming future. Let's get straight into the gameplay and hope you guys have a good one.
Alright, let's see how bad I do this game. Good luck.
Wait, are you trying to snipe on this one?
No, God, no. I'm not an idiot.
No, you could actually snipe on
Just
Tribute.
get the red dot on
The way
there.
that the spawns are, yeah, with the way that the spawns are, you can.
Alright, I'll give it a shot.
Not with the sniper scope.
No, I got a red dot on it. Oh. Is there any way to make this thing quicker?
Nope.
ADS?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
yeah, there is. Got to unlock everything first though.
Because it is slow.
Yeah, it's really slow.
Oh. It's not awful. It's not awful. You just gotta hit your shots.
Yep.
Like if I had an actual iron sight, it'd be a little bit better too.
Yeah, because it will increase
You
the
can unlock.
ADS
You unlock
as
the
well.
iron sight.
Yeah, the car feels good though. Like it feels like a solid sniper rifle to use.
Yeah, it's the best one.
Is it?
I don't
I don't
know.
know, I like
Three line might be close
Three line
to
I
the
like.
same thing.
That's damn.
I
That's
don't know.
got
Nah.
There's something to each
Wait.
one.
I like the
Wait
three
till
line.
wait till you unlock all the shit on the car. I'm telling you right now. Skill sniper. The most accurate, highest fire rate.
Just gonna start using the SVT.
Has the best quick scoping ability. SVT is fucking terrible.
Oh man, you can make the thing a one-shot kill.
Wait till you get, like, it's terrible until you get everything to fucking do that. It's really, the recoil on that thing is so fucking bad. I was using it, bro, trust me, it's terrible. Oh shit.
I feel like everything in this game is kind of terrible until you get attachments.
And
Over up
Z40
top,
wasn't. It wasn't bad.
MP40 is a solid gun.
Well, I don't know.
That's my next gun I'm gonna use. Also be my first SMG, so I can be. I'm gonna use it now. Fuck it.
They're on top of B.
Fuck, they got bombers as well.
I can't get out of my spawn.
Yeah, our teammates somehow fucked up the spawn trap at C.
That's because they got B. They get additional spawn points from it.
Well, B's but just run on B. Just run on B. That's all you gotta do.
I almost had it.
I was on it. I got killed by thermite.
Yeah, we're losing.
3 on B.
Oh my god.
Fucking hell, dude.
There you go. I put a
I
mortar on.
love the lag.
Fuck am I getting shot from?
I love the fucking lag.
Now they're gonna have a hard time.
Yo,
Losing B.
MP40 is not bad.
It's really good.
Mine's well, probably more than level 1 now. But damn.
It's like a solid all-around gun. Think about it.
It has no right being this accurate. I literally have no attachments.
It has really good range as well. For SMG. Wait till you unlock the Grenko, the upgraded damage rounds. It's crazy.
There's
Damn.
there's better damaging rounds. That's
Yeah. Every
fair.
gun pretty much has it. I'm getting fucking bodied now.
Yeah, I must be the only one that just doesn't feel impressed with this weapon. I don't know.
It's probably you want to because you're more of a mobility guy. People
Yeah,
you like
this thing-
having mobility.
This thing just does.
Yeah,
not
it doesn't have
it
the
for
greatest
me.
mobility.
Which gun doesn't have good mobility?
The MP40.
Like
it
I've
doesn't have great
I've tried
mobility.
to stack it out with it, and it just starts decreasing the accuracy overall.
Yeah.
I feel like the Volk has incredible mobility, and that's what I'm used to
That is the
using right now.
one. That one with the Thompson.
Oh shit.
Although I do feel like I have good strafing with this, in a way. It's just once I aim down sights, I feel like I'm a slug.
Well, oh fuck. Did you see that the one perk that I mean the one attachment that I have, it increases the aiming mobility. It's not like, you know, fucking amazing, but who got a
Got a
V2?
V2.
Who threw a V2 this early? I guess Oxed.
Like that's such a waste of. He had so much more time to go. What an idiot.
Honestly, my first V2 in this game, I'm just gonna drop it as soon as I get it.